think what we are seeing in Hong Kong right now is a continuation and extension, if you will, from the events last year. Obviously, the COVID-19 issue, pandemic had sort of slowed down the momentum of the protesters, but it's part of this broader narrative in Hong Kong regarding how they perceive China's growing interference and encroachment into the politics, into the way of life of the Hong Kong people.
Do you expect an escalation then of tensions on the streets in Hong Kong?
Well, I think from the Chinese government perspective, this national security law, they probably view it as necessary to minimize the risk of future upheaval in Hong Kong, and more importantly, to really provide the Beijing with a legal tool for it to take action. Of course, whether it does so or not is subjected to other considerations. How I see it is that the Chinese government, even if these result in protests, they would rather swallow the bitter pill early on than to have this situation of Hong Kong drag on for years to come.
Were you surprised by the national security legislation, of course, being unveiled by Beijing and, of course, announced this morning at the NPC?
Well, I think certainly it came out. The news covered it, and I suppose many of us did not see it. But having said so, this national security law is something that has been ongoing. The Hong Kong legislation was supposed to have passed it across this 20 over years since they came out of Britain, but it hasn't done so. So it's really a matter of whether Beijing chose to do it or not. And in this case, given all these events that we're seeing over the past 6 months to a year, I think Beijing finally decided, okay, we're just going to go ahead with it, and this time we're going to do it on our end.
What are the implications for the relationship between China and the United States as a result of this legislation, because it's already received a sharp rebuke from President Trump?
Yes, I think if you look at the comments made by Mike Pompeo, clearly this is seen again as this broader contestation or clash, if you will, between how they perceive China as an authoritarian government political system versus the U.S. democratic system, which obviously Hong Kong is very much part of Hong Kong's way of life. So if only this has further exacerbated the clash between the United States and China, the U.S. as a beacon for democracy and individual rights would certainly have to step up for Hong Kong to say that it does not approve of it. But I think given how the situation is already so tense, whatever Beijing does, I guess it will not make matters much worse than it currently stands.